Welcome in. We're going to talk about hands-free driving tonight.
The Dan Yorke State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
Welcome in the Dan Yorke State of Mind program on a Wednesday evening. I told you earlier this week that we had kind of a funky production schedule, so we're actually recording this program on Tuesday, so we will forego the issues of the day simply because I can't catch up to them. And I wouldn't say in Rhode Island they're moving so fast that you can't catch up, but certainly in Washington they're moving so fast that you can't catch up. But that's okay. We're going to have a comprehensive conversation with two standout citizens of our great state of Rhode Island from the Rhode Island Chief of Police, well, the Police Chiefs Association. Got to get it right? I'll introduce my guests in just a couple of minutes. First, let me introduce the concept and the first subject matter, and that is your behavior on the roads. And you and your phone. Here's the latest we have from Walt Buteau's Eyewitness News.
It did not take long to spot drivers who are not obeying the hands-free law. We watched from a relatively busy intersection and saw several with one hand on the wheel and the other on their phones. Pawtucket restaurant owner Daryl Douglas on a scooter today admits using his phone when he drives is a hard habit to break.
I see all the accidents and stuff like that. I don't want to die over a text.
The law was passed after a healthy debate to convince drivers to drop the habit through enforcement. So far, since June 1st, statewide stats compiled through the Rhode Island Traffic Tribunal indicate there have been 960 citations across the state. 235 of those were paid for a total of just under $33,000 in fines and court costs collected by the tribunal. There are 518 open cases, which are mostly pending for initial appearances, with a handful of hearings due to not guilty pleas. A number of drivers we talked with admitted off camera they are not following the law, but several tell us they bought the equipment to be hands-free and shifted gears with their phone use, even though they're balancing busy schedules at work and as parents.
Plans are shifting, where I'm picking up the kids, where I'm going. It's hard to adjust and always remember that it has to be hands-free.
I mean, it's super dangerous, so I would hope that, the text or that Facebook post can wait a couple of seconds before, before you try to check it while you're driving it.
If you're wondering how long it might take for drivers here to adjust to the law, Jennifer Cathell works in Rhode Island but lives in Connecticut, where it's been hands-free for more than a decade. She sees apparent violators in both states.
But you see adults doing the same thing and not paying attention and swerving into other lanes, and it's scary.
Yeah, I think we all see that. In fact, I drive in Connecticut a lot and see it all the time, and so I wonder whether enforcement tempers, how that whole thing goes, to whether everyone just kind of settles into their own bad habits. The Chief of Police, the Colonel of the great city of Central Falls, and it is a terrific community, is it not, Chief?
I feel as it is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're not here to do economic development and the politicking, but I'm bullish on that community. I think that city is going to explode soon. There's a lot of stuff going on, good things.
It's on the rise. I got to give some props to the mayor. He's doing a fantastic job leading the community.
They ought to rewrite the charter there and give the kid another 4 years, because I don't know what James Deos is going to do. The former chief of Little Compton and the head of the Police Chiefs Association, Chief Sid Wordell, is here as well. Guys, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Let's go to the back end of that story first. Connecticut's had the law for all these years. Is that question a good one? Do you expect that the comfort zone of the law kind of settles in and enforcement won't be as, or do we have data in Connecticut? We must have some kind of data in Connecticut about how they've done over all the years.
Right. The enforcement of it hasn't really gone down, and I don't expect it to go down in Rhode Island. I mean, more and more we're seeing attributing that some type of distracted driving is having to do with a lot of rear-end collisions at intersections and stuff. DOT is putting money out for enforcement on distracted driving. So I don't see the enforcement to go down at all. I hope compliance goes down, and then we're not seeing as much of it. But
Or compliance goes up.
Or compliance goes up, right.
And the behavior goes down. All right, let's start at the beginning. You were all in favor of this legislation.
Correct.
Was it more a legislative initiative, or were you guys driving the ship on this one?
No, we were a part of it, but this was really, it came from the texting law to begin with, and then but we were in favor of it right along. So, but we weren't out there driving it like some other things that have happened recently that we've tried to be on the forefront.
Yes,
so.
we'll talk about the red flag legislation, and we'll also talk about some school safety issues here tonight. So stay tuned for all of that. So far, so good. What's going on in your city?
I say we've issued 58 citations since June 1st. Out of that, we've had 26 cases dismissed because someone provided the actual Bluetooth device as part of the law. You can come into court, show that you purchased the device, and the case will be dismissed. We've had
With the standard $85 fee just for having to go in there? Every time you walk in the courtroom, it's a fee, right?
There'll be a court cost that goes along with that.
Yeah.
One person actually pled guilty.
It's a scam in this state. Every time you go in, even if you beat the rap, Chief, you still got to take your wallet out. I don't know about that, but anyway, you were saying.
Well, that's the judicial branch.
Yeah, I understand.
We had one person actually pled guilty. We had 6 that failed to appear, and 4 were dismissed on good driving records, and we have 35 cases still pending. We haven't had any cases go to trial to date. And that was one of the biggest concerns I think police chiefs have had throughout the state. They're concerned about the overtime for sending officers to the Rhode Island Tribunal for the cases that were being fought for trial.
What is the status of pending cases? What does that mean? They're just not up for on the calendar yet?
They're not on the calendar yet.
How long does it take to get a calendar on something like this?
Well, the tickets were issued, those 58, over a period of time, so they all had separate court dates. So over half is still pending.
So one was found guilty, not pled guilty?
Pled guilty.
Oh, pled guilty.
Pled guilty.
In court?
In court.
Yeah. To get the good driving record, so that person didn't have the good driving record credit, obviously, because you distinguish between good driving record and a guilty plea.
Yeah, I presume that
to
be the case.
I hate burning that credit, man. Every 3 years, I mean, listen, we got a lot of bad law in this state, but one of the bonuses about living here is that you get a little something every 3 years, a little benefit of the doubt, and it slows you down a little bit, and certainly did me. Well past my 3-year period. You know what? I should never have said that. This is not good. But this one, this is a moving violation. So this is eligible for that. But so if you just think speeding is your thing, this thing counts again. You're gonna have to burn it if
correct,
if you need to.
Correct.
Yeah. Huh.
And you can't save it and use it for the next time because it goes against you.
Why would you save it?
Well, I mean,
can you actually do that with
ticket
a
as
judge?
opposed to a
Your Honor, I'd like
$300
to save
ticket.
this one. I'd like to save my my phone a friend. Well, all fun aside, obviously it's a serious issue. It's a serious matter, and there's some really weird data out there that talks about the equivalency of drunk driving and use of the text and everything else. It's actually quite alarming, isn't it?
It is.
They're saying actually it's outpacing drunk and drug driving. There are statistics out there, I think through NHTSA, that actually is showing that it's becoming really a public health crisis where it is outpacing drunk and drug driving.
But also with the impair comparison, right, in terms of the equivalency of being impaired.
Reaction time
and all that kind of stuff. And it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to keep that phone at bay. But it's an easy thing to use the Bluetooth. And what's the middle ground here? If you take the phone and you just hit the speaker button and you put it in the console, what's the law?
You're good.
Yep, as long as you're not, the phone is not in your hand, it's not proximity to your ear.
But but if I'm, I got to call the chief. Speakerphone. Is that okay?
Can't dial, and because then it falls under the texting too. You can't
dial, so you got to tell Siri to do it.
Tell Siri to do it. You can answer it, and you can hang it up. You can press those buttons. They allow that. It's in the statute. You can actually answer the phone and hang up the phone. But you just can't dial.
Okay. Seems fair. I wonder how much of the population actually knows or trusts Siri to make a phone call. I don't know. Beginning of the day, end of the day, what do you think will be the net societal benefit of this whole thing? Safety? Is there something else I'm missing here?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's all about safety, and it's about the distraction.
You guys did a good job in marketing this thing early on. I thought, you know, you did some commercials.
We felt the necessity to do so. With this law specifically, we felt an obligation. It's one thing with a seatbelt violation. If you don't wear a seatbelt, you get injured, you're hurting yourself. But with a situation like this, it's distracted driving. You hurt yourself, the other occupants in your vehicle, and the other person you come in contact with, get an accident with. Mm-hmm. So we felt an obligation that we need to get ahead of this and educate. This could sound legislation. We need an education piece, then finally followed by enforcement, which started June 1st, as you're aware.
I thought you did a good job. And I'm hearing out there that police officers are using a little bit of discretion, too. That it seems that, in fact, a guy called the radio show the other day and said a trooper pulled up next to him. It might have been a local police officer, but he said either one pulled up and did the old, you know, I don't know if that's part of your practice. Are you doing that? You're doing a little winking and nodding with your guys to be a little bit more discretionary, or are you on a mission to clean the city up of this habit?
Ultimately, we want to change the habit, try to change the culture. Because right now, as was mentioned even in the clip, is that it's becoming part of one of those persons, their appendage. They have to have that phone with them at all times.
Crazy.
People lose their phones. They have anxiety attacks. Where's my phone? You think you lost your child in an amusement park when you lose that phone. So changing the culture is very difficult, and that's what we want to do. We change the culture, and we want to make the roads safer for everyone. Ultimately, what the goal is. How we go about it really doesn't matter.
Well, it matters to our pocketbook.
Well,
it matters to our insurance rates. You know, and so I think people really need to know that this is not just this is not a parking ticket. This is the real McCoy. This is a citation, and it goes against your insurance. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So, you know, if you got your one to burn, don't burn it on this one. You know, it's like, you know, come on, man. When we come back, we'll talk about some other terrific initiatives from the Police Chiefs Association, including that red flag and some school safety topics. Stay with us.
First, it will direct the Rhode Island State Police to assess all red flag reports and take whatever steps are legally available to remove the guns from dangerous individuals.
So Governor Raimondo touting the red flag idea, she actually initiated an executive order in the middle of the session to kind of, I don't know, get ahead on this, I think, very wise concept. There wasn't much teeth to the executive order, but the legislation certainly has teeth, and the Police Chiefs Association here in Rhode Island initiated this idea. And I was relieved that the process works. You guys didn't have to take a long time to come up with a post-Parkland, concept about how to deal with troubled people who have weapons, who might do something, and who flag that they've got some issues. Remind us about how that whole thing came down.
Well, you know, just to walk off of what you said there too, this isn't a new issue. What it did though is it brings the issue to the public. And once we could explain to the public and work with the legislators to understand that there was this sort of loophole of individual who, A, doesn't want to get help themselves, they haven't done something criminal, and you're worried about that happening and they're going to hurt themselves or someone else, that was the loophole that we were dealing with. And that's what we were able to get across to the legislature, to the governor, and say, understand, you know, this is a part of our society. We need to be able to deal with them, hopefully for a short time crisis that they're going through. But we need to be able to do something.
It was unfortunate, though. It took a tragic event like Parkland to really facilitate this happening here in Rhode Island.
Yeah, well, we you know, and again, I don't say this to toot horn because that's not my style, but it ended up when we have conversations on the radio, sometimes they're superfluous, sometimes they're over the top, sometimes they're meaningless, and sometimes they count, you know. And that day, and those series of days, because the country was reeling over that, I kept asking the question, isn't there something we can do to close the loop between that what we know and that what we can do?
Right.
You know, if somebody's texting on social media, you know, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, or you know what, any minute now, or I'm busting on Facebook, or making phone calls, you really didn't have in Rhode Island the statute to be able to go in there and say, hey, you know what, here go your weapons, we got to get you some help. Now, and you guys were listening to the show, you guys had a meeting, correct?
Correct.
And you went right to it.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean that was awesome, and it was a conversation I was having with Attorney General candidate Peter Nerona, who, by the way, seems to be, you know, going to be flying through this election campaign. I just don't even see it's a walk. I'm guessing you don't want to make any political statements, but you'd be looking forward to working with him. He'd be right. He'd pretty stand out.
Well, we've had a relationship already when he was the U.S. Attorney in Rhode Island.
Right.
So we know his mindset. We have an understanding as how dedicated he is. So I don't expect that to change from one position to the other.
So the legislation has been passed. What kind of effect has it had? Have we had circumstances that are out there that get less attention but have been preventative?
So from my understanding, talking to the chiefs, talking to the state police, no one has actually had to use the legislation to the full extent of it. But it has come in where it's been that close to doing it, but for the sake of the individuals involved, in one fashion or another, they've gotten help without having to go to that extreme.
Meaning, and the extreme is taking their weapons away.
Right, the extreme of going to Superior Court and taking, you know, talking to a judge, showing them what's taking place, getting a search warrant to get those weapons from them, and then holding a hearing within that 21-day period, I think it is now, to you know, sort of an assessment at that time to determine if they shouldn't have them for another year.
Right? The beauty of the law is that you can get on the horn to Superior Court if you think something's really, really, really pending. You can get on the horn, go and get your warrant, and work it out later.
Right.
And that's the benefit, and that's the safety measure for the community, I would think, that you don't need a 21-day process to act. You can act, and then if you have to go, hey, you know what, misunderstanding.
Correct.
You can reissue somebody their weapons.
The situation is exigent, we can act right away. However, we're not the mindset that we're not looking to take people's weapons away. This is not a Second Amendment issue. It's a mental health issue. Right. And we had to drive that home, and that was part of the education piece, I think, by us as well, is that we gave some people some calm with that, is that we have to be clear, articulable facts that's going to be put on the affidavit, signed by us, and the judge has to sign off on it. So I think that made people a little more comfortable knowing all that. So I think the education of that legislation was important as well.
I think the Police Association has been a really good advocacy group. They're on a good roll here. When we come back, we'll talk about school safety and what the latest is on that. Stay with us, please. Well, welcome back, the Chief of Central Falls, the head man of the Chiefs Association here. We have, in this conversation about safety, from red flag, you go to the schools, and because red flag legislation is born from concern about what's happened in the schools. I still scratch my head, guys, over the idea that even since Newtown, our precious cargo in the elementary schools doesn't have resource officers by statute or mandate, but we do put them into the middle schools, and they are in the high schools. You've had some institutional remarks about this over time, where I've respectfully said, you know what? Do your job. Let's let government decide about the resource, the money, the budget. So let's straighten that conversation out. The Police Association's stance on resource officers for every school is what?
We support it, but we support it with the idea that it's law enforcement working with that school district. So, you know, there's a mandate that if there was a mandate that every school had to have a resource officer, you can't fit everybody in the same bucket. I mean, I come from Little Compton, where your school is K through 8th grade, and then our kids go off to high school. But you have, you know, the city of Cranston that has, so it's easier, right? So one school, one officer, but we only have 10 officers. So, I mean, that's where the budgetary piece comes into it, respectfully. But no, the police chiefs support it. And in fact, that's why most departments have school resource officers, and that they have them assigned to the schools. Maybe not the whole time that they're open, but they find when they feel that it's most appropriate, and that's working with the schools.
What about in your city? You're a small but urban center. Central Falls is such a unique place.
We have many schools.
Yeah, how many schools you got in town?
I want to say 12. I'm not sure. Don't.
And you got you get a handful of elementary.
We do. We have the one high school, one middle school, and we do have a school resource officer at the high school and one at the middle school as well.
So if I was Mayor Diosa and I said, hey, listen, I wanted a cop in every school, you'd say, yeah, find me the money. You wouldn't argue the principle of it, would you?
No, I wouldn't argue the principle. Not at the state level either. But I'm concerned over unfunded mandates. We've had those situations in the past where law comes down and we have to find the money somewhere. Sometimes there's grant opportunities we can take advantage of, but those are only short term.
Unfunded mandates in general are a disease of government, whether it's federal to state, state to local, local to the borough. I mean, it's just, it's bad news. Is there a nuance? Well, I got a couple minutes here. Is there a nuance, though, to when resources are allocated for that kind of concern? Is there a kind of officer? Is there a kind of training? Is there some kind of nuance that you guys think is important to consider? What is it?
Sure. The officer, you're looking for an officer that's going to fit in dealing with kids, right? And you want an officer in there that can relate to them in working with them. But you have to understand that officer is not there to be a part of the discipline of the school. They're there for protection of the kids. And that line has been crossed. We've heard about that throughout the country. And I think that's probably the second most important thing after you find the right officer, is working with the schools to understand what that officer's role is.
Yeah, great resource officers thwart a lot of disciplinary problems.
Absolutely.
So, it's...
That's right.
As they develop relationships, I think part of their job, their responsibility is to be a mentor. Try to build that, bridge the gap that we have, the separation between, the officers and the community, especially in the urban core. So they do a great job in bridging that gap. You have to have the right person. You can't order somebody to be a school resource officer. If there's nobody within your agency who wants that job, you can't force someone to do it.
Really?
Well, you can, but I think it's disastrous if you did.
To your point, the chemistry's got to be there.
Absolutely.
Which means that the hiring practice has got to be adapted, right?
Yeah, but I don't think you're hiring a first-year officer to go be that school resource officer.
No.
Right? That's a developmental piece of law enforcement to understand that group and work
All right,
with them.
so even if we got that kind of momentum, there'd be a curve to climb in terms of being able to implement. But I'm glad that you guys are supportive of that. Great work, appreciate it. Keep your phones in their thing, talk to Siri, don't get jammed up. Right? Simple as that.
Simple as that.
You guys will come back for a final word when we return. Stay with us. Alrighty, coming up on the Thursday program, we'll revisit a conversation with a local landlord who has some interesting tidbits for you, if that's something you want to get into. I know a lot of folks who look for supplemental income via that track, but it can be a risky road. So stay tuned for that tomorrow night. In the meantime, we'll talk to you at 3 on the radio on WPRO until 6 each weekday. Thanks for watching.